Hello, I'm Dr. Hamilton Stubbs, and I want to share with you a little bit of information that I have about the coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and COVID, and why we need to practice social distancing and other safety precautions to reduce COVID. A virus is a small organism that is classified as being somewhere between a live organism and an organism that is not alive. And that is because viruses do not have all the cellular mechanisms to reproduce and to live outside of a host. Viruses need a certain type of cell to attach onto and to replicate. The coronavirus was initially thought to be limited to the animal kingdom and possibly thought to start in bats. But they found that the virus can jump from the bat to the human, and this is because the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 has found cells within the human body that allow the virus to attach, reproduce, and live. When a virus enters into our body, we respond with our immune system. We have an innate immune system, which is our skin and the mucous membranes, the white blood cells, and something called natural killer cells. This is our first line of defense. If the virus bypasses or is somehow able to get past the innate immune system, then the virus will be met with our adaptive system. The adaptive immune system is the production of antibodies. When we are using our adaptive system, it takes about 5 to 7 days before immune globulins will appear within the body. So when we are looking at testing people, initially, if you get tested before 5 or 7 days after exposure, your test may come back negative because you haven't had a chance to build antibodies. If you have the other type of testing, then you must make sure that the specimen was collected appropriately, processed appropriately, and that a good sample was obtained. The other type of testing, the NAAT, is looking for protein particles. If that test comes back positive, then you've been infected. If it comes back negative and you've had a good sample, it's been handled correctly, processed correctly, then you probably have not been exposed to the virus. What we know about the coronavirus is that it spreads very easily. One person can infect 60,000 people. So we have to do things to protect ourselves and others. And this is where social distancing comes in. We don't know quite how far you need to be away from the other person. Scientists at major institutions in the U.S. have found that the virus can be found 26 feet away from the infected person. Right now we say 6 feet. In China they had 14 to 16 feet. So 6 feet is what we are using, and we're also recommending that you have a barrier, which is a mask. The other things you can do is make sure that you're washing your hands, and this should be a soap that gives you a good zuzz. Wash your hands long enough that you can sing the happy birthday song twice. Be sure to clean under your fingernails. If you have a beard, they think that the beard may be a place where the virus can collect. And when you go outside, if the virus is hanging out in the air, it falls to the ground and it could get into your hair. So wear a cap. Also try to limit going outside and doing unnecessary activities. Avoid being in large crowds. So these are a few of the things we can do just to slow the progression of the virus. If you want to learn more about the coronavirus and how to protect yourself and to stay up to date, then join us on Tuesdays at 12 for a brief discussion on the different aspects of the coronavirus. COV, and what we know about how to prevent the illness. Download the free book at drhamiltonstubbs.com/cove. And while you're on our website, please go over to our shop and download the Minding the Temple journal. It's a spiritual and gratitude walking journal. And join us on Instagram Live on Wednesdays at noon for our virtual walking group. These things have been put in place because even as we shelter in place and try to protect ourselves, we need to stay connected in a responsible way, and we need to exercise. May God bless you and may He have mercy on us all.